one of the things that sort of has blown me away is, in spite of the fact that we haven't been posting anything the last several years, people keep coming to the website. So I want to thank the people that are coming and checking us out and watching our videos and our content. So that's very much appreciated. Heck, I want to thank you if you're watching this right now for giving me a chance here and watching the videos. So a lot changed. Hi, this is Eric Stromquist. Welcome to Control Talk Now, your smart buildings videocast and podcast for the week ending February 12th, 2023. This is episode 401, or maybe it's just episode 1, as we are sort of in the process of reinventing ourselves here. So a couple questions I want to answer right off the bat. A lot of people asking, what happened to you and Ken? Why did you guys stop recording Control Talk Now, and why did you stop posting? So ControlTrends was always created as a source that would create value with control news that you could use. And when COVID hit, everything changed. All of us know this. Everybody was getting a podcast. We're all being Zoomed to death with meeting after meeting. There was a lot of new stuff that was coming in the industry in terms of people creating podcasts and videocasts, but not a lot of new sort of information. We were all sort of stuck in a vacuum, if you will. So Kenny and I realized we didn't really have anything to say new back then. And I think our last episode, we promised when new stuff came out and when things shifted, that we would get back at it. And, Kenny and I had always been of the opinion that if somebody's kind enough to trust you with their attention, you need to really, respect that and honor that. And for both of us, it felt like we were just putting our weekly podcast out to put it out, because we sort of had the notion that you got to be consistent. Like everybody else, you put it out every week. And, we decided that we need to step back until things changed, which obviously things have changed. They've changed a lot. So one of the questions I'm getting is, well, what happened to you? What have you been doing? What's Kenny been doing? So, Kenny has gone to work for Chesapeake Controls. He's just rocking it up there. It's a great company. Kenny's doing really well with them. If you're up in the Pennsylvania area, you should definitely call Kenny. I mean, he'll help you out with your control projects. And he's also got, multiple grandkids. Both his daughters moved back to Pittsburgh. So Kenny, between work and his grandkids, his schedule's really, really full. So at least for now, I'll be going Control Talk now alone. And as for me, like a lot of folks, my oldest daughter, I was working all the time. So, when I was on the road, I'd leave Monday morning, wouldn't come back till Friday night. And my oldest daughter, Britt, I mean, she basically grew up in the blink of an eye. And, people that have children understand this. I mean, they grow up really quickly. And I really, really missed, her growing up. So, with Stromquist and Company, Rob Allen, my brother and I put Rob in charge of running Stromquist and Company, and Rob's doing a fantastic job as the president and chief operating officer at Stromquist and Company. And that freed up a lot of time for me to really figure out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So the last several years, I knew one part of it was I wanted to be part of my youngest children's, Evelyn and Axel's, life. I didn't want to make that same mistake again. So thanks to Rob and the situation at Stromquist, I was able to really spend a lot more time with my kids, which has been very, very great for me. They're both in school now, growing up. Evie's 10, Axel will be 8 in March. So it left me some free time to sort of pursue passions I have. I love to read. I'm very interested in marketing, so I took some copywriting courses with some professional copywriters. And then I love trading options and futures. So I've been pretty successful trading S&P options on futures. So that has sort of kept my days full. But again, like I said, I kept periodically checking in on ControlTrends and seeing more and more people come back and to the site. And I kind of just had an inkling to get back at it. So as most of you know, AHR was in Atlanta last week, and I'm based in Atlanta. So I got the camera out, got the microphone out, and went down and got to interview and talk to some old friends and see a lot of people. And it was fantastic. And I remembered how much I love the industry and how much I love the people in the industry. So I started thinking, maybe I could reinvent ControlTrends. Maybe we could come up with some new stuff that would be cool. So I've been thinking about it for a while. And I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to reinvent it, and I'm going to try to make it interesting and useful to people. So I'm going to add some new spots to it. If I think about what we did with ControlTrends before, we maybe weren't as inclusive of some people as we should be, specifically the marketing and sales people. So if you've been to ControlTrends lately, you notice that I'm doing a piece called Marketing Monday, which is specifically designed for those folks. Also, we got huge technicians from residential to commercial to industrial. And over the years, we've done a lot of, tech videos, training videos on how to do things. And so I'm sort of created a Tech Tuesday where I'm going back to the archives to bring some of those out. And I'll be creating some new technical videos so that the technicians will be sort of served with that. And you've also noticed I've probably gone down and done what we call a Throwback Thursday, where I'm going to the archives and I'm finding some of the success stories from our industry, some of the great events or some of the great people, and I'm reposting that. Because success leaves clues, but only if you sort of look for them. So I think by putting some of those videos up, we bring that forward, and hopefully those success stories can be repeated in the future. So I'm looking forward to having some fun with this. I can promise you, as one of my teachers said, different is not always better, but better is always different, that it will be different as we reinvent it. If you have any input for me, please let me know. And with that, I want to bring my first guest on. It's Ken Sinclair, automatedbuildings.com. This is going to be a little bit different video. We're not going to go as long as we used to. Ken is going to break down some of the educational sessions at AHR. Ken's very active with that, has been over the years. These sessions are fantastic. I didn't get to attend them, but Ken's going to give us the 411 on them and how you can watch those videos. So without further ado, here's my first guest, Ken Sinclair, automatedbuildings.com. Ken, man, thanks for taking some time to talk to me. AHR was quite the event last week, and especially the educational series sessions. Let's break it down, man. That's what I want my audience to hear today is all about those educational sessions and some of the highlights of them.
Okay, well, it was a frustration for me, of course, because I was unable to make it to Atlanta, which it's been a while. It was our 23rd year of putting on the show, and it's the first time I was not able to go, of course. But yeah, so I had a few health issues that prevented me from traveling. So was really bummed not to be there.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because you did watch the whole session virtually, and you were missed for sure. Suffice it to say, man, congratulations for getting this captured. And I understand these sessions will be on automatedbuildings.com, so people that missed it will be able to check these sessions out. Is that accurate?
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah. As it'll actually just build off of the same menu as we used for AHR. So as you go to the event, and we have all of our sessions listed there. As you click on the session, it reminds you of who the speakers were, and then it'll just be an actual link to the actual production of it.
Very cool. Well, I want to get into some of the sessions, give an overview for our audience so that when these things are posted, they can go check it out. So let's talk with Anton and the very first, the summit, right? Which wasn't necessarily one of the educational sessions, I don't believe, but talk about what that group's up to.
Okay, well, the summit was basically nothing to do with the Cochrane and Automated Buildings AHR sites. It was tacked on as a pre-site, or pre-session, I'm sorry, is the correct word I'm looking for. And we felt there was a need to sort of educate the industry, and this came out of our Monday Live group. And Anto and all the folks that are over there that are running that, they put together this session, and we put it online, and lo and behold, it sold out. That was an amazing event. We kind of thought that we had a room that we could seat 200, and we exceeded that. And so then we were forced to put it online. And again, they just put it online just like we do the Monday live meetings.
The summit really impresses me, and you're part of that, right? I mean, you're part of the Monday Live group, and for our audience who might not know, what's the mission of this? What's the mission of that group, and so what are some of the key takeaways?
Well, I think the big thing is we moved from smart buildings to smarter buildings, because we came to the conclusion that smart suggests we're done, and we're all pretty agreeing on the fact that we're not even close to done. Smarter is a goal that we all need to achieve. So I think that's one first. They've also done a lot of work with government, is trying to make the public aware. So we're actually moving out of the industry into politics and starting to motivate and educate is probably the better word, educate the industry.
Yeah, it's interesting, Ken. Part of my studies over the last couple of years, really doing a deep dive into, marketing campaigns and what companies are focusing on. A key part of any company's marketing now is their social responsibility and how they are responding to that. So I think, our industry really offers those companies that want to highlight that, the opportunity to do that through their systems and also through their diagnostics and their analytics. So, all right, Ken. So let's talk about, the first session, which deals with sort of one of the biggest problems that all of us have, is how do you get good people and how do you staff? And there was a session with that. Talk about that. Who was there and what were some of the key takeaways?
But the problem is we're running out of old guys. Maybe that's a lot of folks are retiring, like you and I. We're trying to get out. And as you know, almost nobody gets out of our industry. But the problem is we need to get new people in, and our industry is radically changing from, I joked in one of my talks about we've come from air to air, we've come from pneumatic to clouds, and now everything we do is in the clouds, and the IT people are basically the feedstock of the people coming into the industry.
Very, very cool. Well, so yeah, obviously that's a very timely session there. Melissa Botwell was one of the really great people with that. So that was the first session. And Ken, then we went on to cybersecurity and building automation controls. Tell us a little bit about that session.
Well, of course, cybersecurity is, in a lot of ways, these our programs or our sessions, they kind of lead on importance. I think the most important thing to us is how do we get some people into our industry? The next one is how do we keep our industry secure? And some great discussions there. And of course, that was led by Brian Turner, and he had a powerful cast of folks there as well. And yeah, it's just something we all have to do. It used to be, like load up virus protection for your computer, but now it's much more complex, and it's going to even get more complex now that we have the ability of having AI as part of the tools of the folks that are going to be attacking our buildings. So everything's getting way more sophisticated.
Anyway, all right, Ken. Well, next you had the our opportunity and ESG session. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, the ESG, of course, is, again, hadn't thought of this. These are all actually rolling out very well in the fact of the importance of what's going on in the industry is get the people into the industry, keep the industry secure, and then basically we have to be environmentally correct, socially correct, and we have to interface with government, ESGs. So, and now we're even having to prove that we're doing that. And of course, this puts a big focus on the building automation industry, because we need to document that we are actually saving the energy, that we are socially responsible, and we're even getting into where did we buy our energy, how clean is it. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So it's again, a great opportunity for the industry to actually use these automation systems that we've created to basically prove that we are socially responsible.
So listen, let me just run down a few of the other sessions, and they'll all be on your site. We had, it looks like, did you guys do a live Monday live?
No,
Okay.
it was just, there was just too much going on to do that.
Well, we had a session on metaverse, digital twins, and augmented reality, one of my favorite subjects. That must have been pretty cool. Who led that? But Ken, real quick, I just sort of want to hit on some of these others. You know, obviously there was a Project Haystack session. Most of our people are familiar with Project Haystack. On Tuesday, you did BAS in the cloud, the future of the industry, which, you know, is going to be really compelling. You also did the move from smart buildings to smarter buildings. You had trends in BAS design and specifications and the future role of Division 2525, which I know is near and dear to the heart of the C4SB. We also had the BACnet SC as a foundation of secure and interoperable BAS security, sort of tags back into the session on cybersecurity. And then last but not least was the IP networking fundamentals for construction professionals. Dude, you got a lot covered in this. So for our audience that sort of wants to see these things, talk about how they can get these and when they're going to be up on your site.
Well, as I mentioned, they're on our site now, and there's bits and pieces of the information. I think I'm not sure exactly when we're going to have our video at it. So I would guess within weeks or something, we should have that up, and it will populate out of the same menu. So if you go to the menu of the original show, you can see what the events were like, and eventually what will appear there is the actual YouTube of the event.
And really, really impressed with that. Ken, I'm going to have to hop off. So listen, thank you so much for your time. Ken Sinclair, automatedbuildings.com. Be sure to check out the new site if you haven't already, and be sure to check back because he's got some great videos that are coming up covering AHR 2023. Well done on your educational industrial sessions, my friend. Industry sessions.
Great. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, there you go, man. That is either episode 401 or episode 1 of the new Control Talk Now. I realize it might be a little choppy, but we are going to get better at it. And I don't necessarily think I'm going to post them every week. I might, but whereas before Kenny and I sort of got locked into the conventional wisdom of you post every single week at the same time, I'm not sure that really is necessarily the case anymore. I think the way I'm going to roll now is I'm going to post when I got something unique or useful to say. So if I got a good guest or a new product or something that I think is worth your time, we will do another episode of Control Talk Now. But until then, remember, be bold, stay in control, and be relevant. See you next time.